And now, without further ado, let us say hello to one of the best fighters on the planet today, the great Valentina Shevchenko, kind enough to join us from New York City. Valentina, how are you?
Doing good, doing very good. It's very beautiful weather now in New York. We just went to a little walk to the pier, and it's gorgeous. Enjoying my day here.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, before we actually continue with the interview, I have to say this to you, Valentina. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my dear Valentina. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you. Thank
and I
you
want to
so
say
much.
this, Tulgan Kunin Menen.
Tulgan, it's correct. Now you speak Kyrgyz.
Yes, that means happy birthday, right?
Tulgan kunun menin.
All right, there you go.
It means happy birthday.
Not bad for my first time speaking.
Very good, very good.
How did you celebrate your birthday in New York City? Because you were in New York when it was your birthday on Saturday, right?
Yes. So in the morning, I had appearance with hanging out with fans. It was very interesting, fan meeting with MMA fans and wrestling fans. So my morning started like this, and then it was just going around to see a little bit more of New York. But I would say that official celebration is gonna happen when we go back to Las Vegas and we go and join all my family, my sister, and we will have the official celebration.
And by the way, when you said that you were with the wrestling fans at this convention on Saturday, you mean like the pro wrestling fans, right?
I mean, yes.
Yes.
Pro
They're a little funny, those pro wrestling fans, aren't they? They're a little bit different than the MMA fans, right?
You know, yes, they are different, and it's this is that amazing that to see, because they are I used to see MMA fans, and now it's different, pro wrestling. They have different spirit, and this is amazing things that you can compare and see how it's working all together, combining.
Yeah, and it's great to see you start to get respect from that world and outside of the MMA world as well. Now, I wanted to ask you, before we talk about what's next for you, I wanted to ask you about Saturday night. Zhang Weili against Jedrzejczyk. You know Joanna very well. Maybe one of the greatest fights that we've ever seen, regardless of gender. What did you think of the fight? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was as great as everyone else said it was?
I think, yes, it was very entertaining fight to watch, and both ladies, they give everything that they had to win the for the victory of this fight, and definitely it was very good fight between two strong female fighters. Yeah, of course, I think it took a lot of character and to finish to go all these 5 rounds, and I think the MMA community, fan community of mixed martial arts, they enjoyed watching this fight.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I saw on Twitter you retweeted a tweet from Conor McGregor. You actually thought Joanna won the fight, correct?
Actually, yes, it's true. I thought that Joanna was better in this fight, and she had more, Weili, she just went forward, and she didn't had to strike. And actually, it was a competition of who had stronger head, who has stronger shin. So, in my opinion, right, it's what is the art of martial arts? What is what you have to show for the fans? You have to show your skill, your skill to damage your opponent and not getting these hits, not receiving any. This is the pure martial arts. If you don't have enough not power, but arms, I mean enough technique, what you have to do, just go forward and hit. it's easy, like it's easy, so you just like do what you can. But when you have more in your arsenal, more arms, you can, for example, not only hit, but also you can choose any technique. You can spin, you can go wrestling, you can go like down, like whatever. And this is, in my opinion, that this is true definition of martial arts.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, would it be fair to say that you weren't all that impressed with Zhang in this fight?
All impressed, you know, like she did good. She did good. She's strong, but you could see once she start like get the real competition, the real level of martial artists, the top level fighters, the top level of opponents. Now she has this struggle. You could see how difficult was this fight with Joanna, her fight, how difficult it was. And I really don't see Weili defending her belt in the next title fight.
Really? So you think she loses? Regardless of maybe if it's Rose or Jessica Andrade, you think whoever she fights, she loses?
I think most likely it's going to be Rose for the next fight.
And you think Rose is better than her?
You could tell by yourself how difficult this fight was with Joanna. In my opinion, Joanna won this fight because she was more, her accuracy was more on point. And yes, she get this like inflammation on her head, but it was just one punch. It was the fault of just one punch. If it wouldn't be that, like, I think it was third round. Yes, I think it was third round. If it wouldn't be that punch, it wouldn't be that so much swelling in her face.
If you were to fight Zhang, like when you watch her fight, how would you attack her? What would be the game plan?
Oh, I would like to fight anyone. For me, there is no problem to fight. Like whoever comes, I'm here. I'm gladly fight her. And yeah, I don't see any difficulties in this fight.
Well, it's funny that you say that because last Wednesday I spoke to her manager, Brian Butler, on my show, and I was talking to him about what could be next after the Joanna fight. This is before the Joanna fight, but we were talking about what could be next. And out of nowhere, he actually brought you up. I want to play you this clip and then get your reaction to what he had to say, okay?
Okay.
All right, here you go. Here's Brian Butler.
That also that we are very interested in, very interested in, would be a super fight with Weili and Valentina.
At 125.
Yes. I'm not sure if you saw the picture of them together at the PI this past week, but I don't think size is going to be a huge issue. I think it's just a very exciting stylistic matchup. If all goes well for Valentina and for Weili coming up, I think that's one that the fans would love to see.
So what do you think of that, Valentina?
And not surprising me at all, because I think her manager, he was like planning this matchup, like it's his probably dream of this matchup a while ago. But you're saying that it was this interview, it was before the fight, right?
Correct, yes, last Wednesday.
So I think after this fight, they would change their mind.
Oh my gosh, really? They want nothing to do with you, you're saying?
No, it's because now they can feel what is the real competition, because all these opponents that was before, they are different. They are so different, and more like this picture, what you are showing right now. So I was training in UFCPI, doing my stuff with Antonina, and her team, Weili, they come and they asked me to take a picture with them. So of course I did this picture with them, of course, yes. And all other opponent, it was not that level, the high level of competition. But now, once she's in there, she's in real competition, in real top level, they feel how difficult it is. They really feel what it means, the real level of competition, the real level of MMA fighters.
By the way, when you were at the PI together, did you do any training together or just the picture?
No. It was just a picture. I did my training by myself because right now my sister Antonina, she's starting to prepare to her fight. She's gonna fight in UFC Lincoln in April 25th. So we are slowly starting to getting in the rhythm, to getting in the shape. And I have to prepare myself as well because I'm her major training partner. So I have to be ready to give everything from me, all the power, to make her feel good in the training camp and to help her in her preparation as well. So I'm slowly starting my training as well, my training camp as well.
By the way, did you feel like they were like spying on you or eyeing you down or sizing you up?
Oh,
Did you feel that way?
you know, at this point when it's like last training before your fight, you actually not thinking a lot about other like fighters because you are so focusing on what is waiting for you in next Saturday. That's why you have all attention on yourself. It's like what usually I feel when I training. But everything that I did in UFCPI at that time, it's like shadow boxing, running. It's not much you can take from it.
Fair enough. And by the way, did you? I'm actually somewhat colorblind, Valentina, if I may admit that on the show here. But did you change the hair color back to blonde?
It's not back to blonde.
Okay.
It's kind of a middle. It's not that dark as it was, but it's still kind another shade of red.
Oh, okay.
But it's still like strawberry blonde.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
a
right.
little bit reddish.
I like. We're going back. We're moving slowly back to the old hair color. I see a different shade of. No.
I don't know how it's gonna be back to blonde already, that blonde that I were before. But for now, I'm keeping kind of in the middle.
Okay, fair enough. And by the way, I'm just curious because you are such a great fighter and you're so smart when it comes to fighting. Did you watch the main event? And if so, who do you blame for a fight like that? Because it actually reminded me a lot of your fight between you and Liz Carmouche in August of last year, right? Because the challenger didn't bring the fight to the champion. When you see that, who do you blame in that scenario?
You know, I'm not blaming no one in this case because there is like two fighters. If we are speaking about Yoel Romero, he understands good what his opponent waiting from him, what Israel wants from his all opponents. He wants them move a lot, to do things like throwing punches, kicks, whatever. What for? To make them mistake. And he needs this movement to adjust his own game to hit like the strike, the unique strike, strong, powerful strike. He needs this move. This is his like fight. This is his game. But Yoel knows this. What he did, he didn't throw himself in this game plan. He did his like fight plan. He followed his strategy. He just went in defensive, like fighting style, and waiting for that moment when to hit one straight hook. Of course, he knew that if he will play under rules of Israel, it would not be like a good good fight for him. That's why he decided to play his own game. And in this situation, you could see that Israel was a little bit like without knowing what to do, how to adjust himself, and because he needs this action, he needs this movement around. That's why, I think, yes, probably it was not that thing that when you are without thinking, just going forward and fighting, another one just throwing another punches. So from one side, it's like entertain to watch for the fans, but there is no martial arts in this. It's like just fight. Anyone can fight. But in this fight game of both of the fighters, I would see a lot of like strategy plans, and of course it was very hard and very difficult for both because the level of competition it's very high. It's top level.
All right, so next up for you, Valentina, and I appreciate that insight very much. June 6th in Perth, it is going to be Joanna Calderwood. When you were given her as your opponent, were you happy with that? Do you like this challenge, fighting JoJo?
Yes, June 6th in Perth. It's a great place to have the fight, and we visited Australia last year. We spent there 1 month, and we visited Sydney, Adelaide, Perth, and Tasmania. It's very gorgeous places. One of my favorites is Perth because of their beaches, their nature, and Tasmania. And I'm very happy that now we are go back there, coming back and having this huge event of UFC. And of course, when they brought up the name of Jojo, I knew that because I was offering before this like one opportunity to fight her, and I was ready to take this fight. So yeah, I think she's good. She has good style. She's an MMA fighter, and as I said, I don't care who fight next.
Yes.
I'm ready for anyone.
So when you consider your recent opponents, you know, the likes of Caitlin Chukagian and Jessica Ai, Liz Carmouche, where do you put her? How difficult is this matchup for you, Joanne, compared to some of your other recent opponents in title fights?
You know, Ariel, for me, there is no just like that simple measurement, that simple scale where you put your opponent, how difficult she is, because for me, the difficulty of the opponent, it's not just in a person. It's all combining together, the preparation, how you felt during preparation. Because, you know, sometimes if you are not in the right mindset, if you are not in the right, if you don't have right power and dedication for your training, your performance will be poor, even against an opponent that they are considering that like not that or something, or I don't know why, but this is my thoughts. There is no easy opponents. You have to prepare yourself in the best shape, in the best like power as you can. That's why probably the fight would be easier than you are thinking. And of course, it's not only about the opponent, it's more about yourself, how you prepare yourself for the fight.
Last thing for you, Valentina, you know, a week after that fight on June 6th in Perth, the UFC is going to Kazakhstan for the first time. And I thought if they went to Kazakhstan, they would go with you headlining because it's close to where you're from in Kyrgyzstan. Are you disappointed that you're not on the Kazakhstan card?
Not at all, not at all. I really happy this opportunity fighting in Australia, and we have still a lot of time going forward. And you know, I would say I would be disappointed if the fight would happen in Kyrgyzstan, in my country.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
But in this case, I'm glad that they will do it. And I understand it's kind of like risky for them to put like title fights, the main fight straight in the country that they didn't like do any events yet. So probably the first one is kind of like to measure and to see how it's gonna be. So let's see what's gonna happen after this event for the next one. But I'm very happy that I'm fighting in Australia right now, like June 6th, and I just will prepare myself and do, as always, to put everything the best of me to give the good performance.
Valentina, pleasure to talk to you as always. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Again, happy birthday to you. Enjoy your time in New York, and good luck in preparation, not just for your fight in June, but for Antonina's fight coming up in April as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani. I just came here to thank you for watching our ESPN YouTube channel. It's the best. You know what else is the best? The ESPN app. You can get highlights, analysis, all that stuff and more. And if you want premium content and live streaming sports, there's only one place for all of that. It's ESPN Plus.